It's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous myself that people consider paying college athletes. This topic is sweeping the nation's universities. After coaching for 30 years and understanding what athletes go through and what benefits they receive from universities, I think this is just an absurd topic because they get a lot more than the public realizes. Using my personal experience and extensive knowledge, I'm going to convince you that we do not need to pay college athletes. They should they should not be paid because most college athletes are paid, but it's just not cash in hand. Students are not professionals, and playing college sports is a privilege. Here's why: college athletes are already paid, but it's just not in the form of cash, like I already said, through scholarships and multiple other types of benefits they receive thousands and thousands of dollars. The average student can only get so much scholarship money from the university. Student athletes can get four rides between academic and athletic money, whereas academic money anybody can access it in the school. Athletic money, only a handful of only the athletes can access that money. Um, but stuff like that includes free food, free housing, and when I say free food, the average college kids eating ramen noodles and toaster waffles every night for dinner, whereas a lot of athletes are just eating anything they want, get a full buffet. Housing, they get to live in the nicest place, such as Clemson University. They have a full uh, football building that only football players live in that is worth over $1 billion. And then additional benefits from the university on top of those. You know, University sponsors give them all kinds of stuff. Uh, and then on top of that, they go places they're allowed to use university money to buy things, which technically that is cash in hand, but that's not here you get this because you play. This is hey, y'all made it to national championship. The sponsor's gonna buy y'all some stuff. But despite the financial easement, uh, my bad. Yeah, despite the financial easement, students are still kids. I mean, students are still students. They're there to go to school. They are not professional athletes. They don't do that for a job. That's just something fun they get to do. Um, it's called. They call them student athletes for a reason. They are. Um, they're still students and they're athletes, but student is still first. Obviously, just like it is in the name. Still have classes to go to. They still have exams, which both of those take priority over sports usually. Now, I know that they miss, a lot of student athletes will miss class because they have to go to play or anything, but still, they have to show up to class. Most sports teams hold their athletes liable to go to class. That may not be the case with every university between NCAA and NAIA, but that's what the bigger schools do. Um, on top of that, on top of them still being student athletes, it devalues professional sports. Without professional sports, you could say technically in college, if you're getting paid, you're a professional athlete. If you're making money off of it, that I mean that makes it two levels of professional sports. It shouldn't be like that. Professional sports shouldn't need to be professional sports themselves. They don't have to. They shouldn't have to compete with college. They already have to compete enough. But if they're paid, they're less likely to turn pro because they make their money in college, get a free education, and get on. The best of the best are not going to go to the pros at that point. Uh, but despite popular beliefs, these best athletes may not be the best athletes. Um, College athletics, they are still a privilege, and they should be treated as such. So many college kids take that opportunity for granted that they party it away. Currently, this isn't even with them getting paid. They party it away. They fail out of school and they have a free education when there's so many people that don't get a free education or even half of an education can't even afford it, even though if they're a lot smarter. But still, less than 5% of high school athletes will play a college sport at any level, whether it be NAIA, D3, D2, D1. the number is so slim that, I mean, it goes from the millions to the thousands playing college sports. And to break that number down even further, 2% of high school athletes will receive a college scholarship. So, granted, 3% is not getting paid, but it depends on the sport also. Some sports are busier than others. Whereas a lot of times, like, D2, D3 athletes, they still have time to work. I mean, that's not a priority for them is to get paid. But this 2%, people don't realize how hard it is to actually get a scholarship. No one knows. So many people are so out of touch with what a college athlete looks like. Using my personal experience and extensive knowledge, I hope I've convinced y'all that college athletes should not be paid. They should not be paid because most college athletes are paid. It's just not in cash in hand. Students are not professionals, and college sports are an absolute privilege that so many people would do. They would do a lot of things to have the opportunity to play college sports. I think the thing to gather out of this is college kids need to be kept in the same form that they are. They're still kids. They got people coming out of, just for example, college football. They have people coming out of college football 20 years old going to play professional ball, or even basketball and baseball. You can play 1 year and go as a, depending on how your birthday falls, you can go as an 18-year-old kid to play professional sports. That's not right, I don't think.